Hour gust. That storm is located right near Silver Cliff. It has weakened somewhat as it continues to slide off toward the south and east. A severe thunderstorm warning, though, has been issued, and that will stay in effect until 5 o'clock for Custer County. We don't have any warnings around the Colorado Springs area, but we are tracking some very heavy rain and even the potential for a bit of small hail around the city, particularly for western parts of Colorado Springs. Zooming in, quite a bit of thunder and lightning going on right now. It's near Glen Erie and along 31st Street, where we are tracking some of the heaviest rain. The heaviest rain is where you see that orange and reddish color on your Storm Tracker 13 Live HD Doppler radar. This cell is going to continue sliding off toward the south and east, and this is just a sign of things to come. Looking off toward the north, look at all of that heavy rain that is just to the north of the El Paso County line. These storms will continue dropping off toward the south and east. As they do so, likely they'll be bringing more rain to the Pikes Peak region, and of course we'll be closely monitoring area burn scars. Any heavy rain in those areas could prompt flooding concerns. We're not concerned about flooding as of right now. Highway 24 remains open, but as these storms continue traveling overhead, of course that could change, so stick with your Storm Tracker 13 weather team. We are continuing to track the potential for upwards of a half an inch of rain around Colorado Springs, with 1 to 2 inches of water possible through tonight for areas off toward the south along Highway 50 and even south of Highway 50. In the areas of red, of course, that's where we could see some of the heaviest rain. So we are not done with the storms by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I expect rain to continue well into tonight and even into tomorrow morning. I will use Skycast to let you know how long the rain is going to last in your neighborhood, and I'll also show you when we'll finally see sunshine and warmer temperatures returning. I have your 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Bart and Heather, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Heavy rains in the spring of 2013 and the fall of 2015 continue to have an impact on many areas in southern Colorado. Some roads, bridges, trails, and parks remain closed because of flood and erosion damage. And in some cases, federal money that would help pay for repairs still hasn't arrived. Local crews are trying to restore affected areas as fast as they can.
So we've got probably a dozen and a half different projects that we're looking at, whether it's on the western side of El Paso County, up the pass where we're at now, clear out into Black Forest.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll update you on the progress of 2 specific projects.
Concern is brewing that the U.S. Northern Command in Colorado Springs is on the chopping block. Lawmakers are working to block an effort by Senator John McCain to merge the Northern Command, which oversees defense of the continent, with the Southern Command, which focuses on Central and South America. And Congressman Doug Lamborn is joining many leaders in the fight to keep the commands separate. He released a statement today saying the brave men and women at NORTHCOM have done an exceptional job in protecting our homeland in the wake of 9/11, and I will continue to do everything I can to support their essential mission.
In your Decision 2016 coverage, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump lashes out at the media while releasing details about the funds he raised for military veterans months ago. Meanwhile, the Democrats are battling it out in California. Hillary Clinton off the trail to raise money, but heading west sooner than expected to try and rally support away from Bernie Sanders. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
Donald Trump has unveiled his veteran charity list.
I have raised a tremendous amount of money for the vets, almost $6 million. All of the money has been paid out.
That figure is slightly less than he claimed back in January. Some of the contributions coming from Trump himself.
I gave $1 million.
Months after Trump says he raised the funds for vets at an event in Iowa, he's now releasing the names of the groups he says were paid, adding he wanted to keep it private.
I didn't want to have credit for it. I'm the only one in the world could raise almost $6 million for the veterans, have uniform applause by the veterans groups, and end up being criticized by the press.
The veterans group details playing out in one of Trump's most fiery press conferences yet. The presidential candidate attacking the press for, quote, making him look bad.
I have never received such bad publicity for doing such a good job.
Sleazy, slime, horrible, dishonest, just some of the words Trump used to describe the media, with reporters pushing him on the numbers. But veterans outside Trump Tower protesting the real estate mogul say it's not about the money he generates, but integrity.
It's that he got caught lying about the amount of money that he raised for veterans. We were here last week calling him out. Now he's scrambling to explain himself.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is off the trail to hold fundraisers in New York and New Jersey, but will soon head out west to try and secure the delegates she'll need to clinch the nomination. But Bernie Sanders is putting all his efforts into next week's California primary to try and prevent that.
Right now, in California, there are 2 lawsuits against Trump University. A federal court releasing those documents. It includes details of how the university was marketed. As for Trump, he's calling the judge's handling of his case unfair. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Clinton surrogates and vets in several battleground states, including Colorado, responding this afternoon to Trump's big reveal over money raised for vets. Retired Army Colonel Vicki Warren lives in the Springs. She says she believes Trump raised millions of dollars, but says he shouldn't have used veterans and veterans' causes for political gain.
He didn't want to debate, so he found what I think is the best cause, one of the best causes out there, and he used them to give him wiggle room to get out of the debate.
Warren says Clinton has the resume to be our next president. She argues Trump hasn't demonstrated he has the experience to be commander-in-chief. She says after 30 years in a leadership position in the military, experience is not gained through on-the-job training. And the Texas Department of Transportation is investigating road signs that were hacked overnight. Officials from the department say some signs read, "Bernie for president." Another read, "Go back home, work is canceled." 2 more signs were found reading, "Donald Trump is a shape-shifting lizard." The signs belong to a contractor, but they are used for road projects. If the perpetrator is found, they could face felony charges for it.
You've seen them slice through the sky surrounding the Air Force Academy graduation, and yesterday I got the unbelievable chance to join the Ambassadors in Blue as an honorary Thunderbird. Here's part of that once-in-a-lifetime experience in a story you'll only see on 13.
The skies of southern Colorado are a perfect playground for these birds. With razor-sharp precision, they spear through the air at 500 miles an hour with only 3 feet separating them. Just to even apply, the pilots must have logged 750 hours. Many of them have combat time under their belts. Captain Sarah Harper briefs me on what to expect.
So you're going to go down towards the end of the runway. Your pilot's going to pull to the vertical, and you're going to go about 16,000 feet in like less than 10 seconds. So that's about 6 to 7 Gs.
Okay, say that again.
Then comes a meeting with the team's flight surgeon.
If you start to feel a bit sick or queasy, what I want you to do is just look out like if you're on a boat.
He gives me tips on how to withstand the G-forces.
You should be squeezing so hard that you're shaking.
And how to breathe.
Here we go. So a big deep breath. Start your squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Good. 2, 3.
I get suited up.
Your Thunderbird patch will be an honorary member flying in the back of F-16. So that's going to go on your right arm.
Oh my goodness, so cool.
And fitted for a G-suit.
You have 2 snaps right there. Go ahead and snap those up. You're going to have a snap on the inside. Go ahead and do that one.
Now it's time to meet my pilot, Major Scott Petz.
I actually saw the Thunderbirds perform when I was 9 years old at Ellsworth Air Force Base, and it was actually the maintainers that caught my attention. I actually started my career as a maintainer.
And finally, it's time for the ride of my life.
Heather, enjoy the flight.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Helmet on.
Ready to go?
I am so ready.
The canopy lowers. We taxi and get to 16,000 feet in a matter of seconds. As the G-suit tightens, an incredible view comes into sight. We touch the clouds, and it's time to get my tourist on. Over Pueblo, Major Petz takes me through loops, barrel rolls, 4- and 8-point rolls, aileron rolls, inverted flight. He even let me experience a goal of 9 Gs. A physically strenuous 1 hour later,
Good. Thank you so much.
I have a new appreciation for this elite crew that makes flying these jets look so effortless.
Thank you for your service. Thanks so much.
And by the way, if you're heading to the Air Force Academy graduation, we have details about the event on our website, krdo.com. And Bart, I got to tell you, it was an amazing experience.
Jealous. Yeah.
I lost my cookies a couple times.
I'm glad you admitted it. I wasn't going to ask because you didn't see the video, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
Everybody
a
does.
little rough.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, didn't black out, but yeah.
Did they let you keep the flight suit? No, you had to turn that in.
I had to turn it back, but I've got to hand it to those folks with the Thunderbirds. They are so professional and so respectful as well. Just absolute professionals. I loved every moment.
New respect for what they go through after going through it yourself.
Absolutely.
She was beat last night. She was just exhausted, as everybody is. But you don't realize how strenuous it is to really go through that, right?
And it takes a while to just regain your sea legs after something like that. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. We're proud of you. You did very well.
Oh, thanks.
Over to Rachel.
Heather, you didn't mention the fact that they have radar inside of each of those Thunderbirds, which was my particular favorite part. But we are continuing to track radar blowing up really around southern Colorado. We are tracking a lot of storms that are firing up, producing heavy rain and even hail. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about. That is for Custer County. That will stay in effect until 5 o'clock this evening, sliding through Silver Cliff, pushing off toward the south and east. We have heavy rain in Colorado Springs as well. I'll track how long it'll last coming up.
And from torrential flooding in Texas to twisters on the Colorado Plains, Mother Nature is not letting up one bit. The areas that are bracing for more severe weather.
Also, it wasn't your ordinary rant. This little boy cried all the way home for a good cause. He's talking about why he is so passionate up next.
And the most expensive purse is now in the hands of a new owner. We'll tell you where it was sold.
Torrential rain, flooding, and tornadoes wreaking havoc in many parts of the country. It was a deadly holiday, and the threat is not over yet as flooding continues to rise in the nation's heartland. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
This morning, the floodwaters in Texas still rising.
We've never seen it this high. So, and of course, everybody thinks I'm crazy for not leaving.
The swollen Brazos River has already invaded several small communities in the Houston area. Many more are threatened, sparking evacuations.
Thought we were going to be safe. I didn't know it was going to come up this fast.
The historic flooding has already turned deadly. At least 6 people killed, several are missing. In Parker County, Texas, a setback for crews looking for a missing 10-year-old boy. More water and debris are rushing in, making the search difficult.
It's frustrating that we have the family here and they need some closure, and we haven't been able to give it to them yet.
In other parts of the country, a 1-2 punch, flash flooding and tornadoes. Oh my God. This Colorado twister touched down near the Nebraska border. Today, the severe weather watch continues for much of the central and northern plains. On the East Coast, from the Carolinas to New York, people are dealing with the remnants of Bonnie. The tropical system dumped 8 inches of rain in South Carolina, shutting down parts of busy I-95 on Memorial Day. The good news, Bonnie is a weakened depression, but this week residents will have to deal with rain and rip currents at the beach as she crawls up the coast. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Well, thankfully here in Colorado, while we are tracking some heavy rain, it's nowhere near as intense as the rain that they have been getting in Texas. Taking a look outside right now, I-25 in Fillmore. This is an area where you can see the splash on the I-25 corridor thanks to the cars driving through and the heavy rain falling in place. The rain may slow you down this afternoon and this evening, so keep that in mind as you are heading out. The only severe storm that I have to tell you about right now is in Custer County, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the next about 15 minutes. This does include Silver Cliff as well as West Cliff. We had a report of penny-sized hail in this area. Storm looks like it has weakened at least somewhat, but we're continuing to keep an eye on it as it moves off toward the south and east. Another area of rain near Colorado Springs, really impacting northern parts of the city and central Colorado Springs as this cell 2 moves off toward the south and east. It is much weaker, though, than it was earlier this afternoon. It is going to continue sliding off toward the southeast, though, eventually pushing into Fort Carson here within about the next 30 to 45 minutes. Heaviest rain currently, as I mentioned, is falling over central and northern parts of the Springs. Thankfully, no severe weather, though, to report to you in El Paso County. Farther toward the north, if you are traveling toward Denver this afternoon or into this evening, you are going to hit this storm in Larkspur that has been producing a bit of hail along with very heavy rain. These strong storms will continue dropping off toward the south and east, which means eventually they could be making their way into the Pikes Peak region. So we are far from done with the rain this evening. We are continuing to track the potential for storms to continue sliding off toward the south and east. By 10 o'clock, heaviest rain will be along a line from Burlington toward Walsenburg. So it's going to start to slide out of the Pikes Peak region and drop farther toward the south and east. Across the eastern plains, we'll keep the heavy rain going well into tomorrow morning. With light to moderate rain along I-25 for the morning drive, so not a bad idea to count on a slower drive into work tomorrow morning. By lunchtime, we'll have a few spotty showers. Could see a few stronger storms, though, once again moving in late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Storms we end up with tomorrow, though, are not expected to be quite as widespread as what we are tracking out there right now. They will still be capable of producing some heavy rain, though, so we are going to need to monitor area burn scars. Lingering showers expected through midnight, but then everything clears out of here by Thursday morning. Temperatures tonight will be dropping into the 40s and 50s. I expect high temperatures tomorrow to stay on the cool side. We're only getting into the 60s and 70s, but warmer air is on the way. It moves in later this work week. 76 on Thursday with only a 10% chance for storms. We'll dry it out. Friday looking very nice, 83 degrees. Spotty storms will be possible through the weekend, but take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday right now looking to be the warmest day of the next 7 days with a high temperature of 86. In Pueblo, 69 degrees tomorrow, and then we are in the 80s. We will stay there through the weekend into early next week, and then we're going to hit 90 degrees by next Tuesday. In Canyon City tomorrow, 68, 80 degrees on Thursday. We'll keep the 80s in place all the way through the weekend and into early next week. Could see a few spotty storms throughout the weekend afternoons rather. In Teller County, 57 degrees tomorrow with mid 60s on Thursday. 70s expected on Friday with another chance for storms as we head into the weekend. And of course, we are always tracking the storms for you, not only here on KRDO News Channel 13, but also Facebook, Twitter, and KRDO.com. One way that you can stay ahead of the storm, of course, is our Storm Tracker 13 weather app, which is free for your iPhone and your Android. Best part about that app, first thing you see is radar when you open it up, which is a super easy tool to use and something that you definitely want to have handy as we are in the heart of severe weather season here.
Second best part, it's totally free.
Totally. I mean, that is the best part. That's one price that is in my budget.
Love it.
Yes, we can handle that.
Exactly.
All right, thanks,
yeah, you bet.
Well, one 6-year-old is proving it's never too early to get involved in something you're passionate about. And before he even hits double digits, he's already making his mark.
KRDO News Channel 13's Dana Clements introduces us to this environmentalist in the making.
You've probably seen the video of little Henry Marr having a meltdown in the car.
Planet is gonna be wrecked. People are just being rude to it.
It was an impassioned plea, really.
They are being so bad. I could just call them dumb people. My teacher showed me and the kids at my school a video, and a baby chickadee was eating trash, and I almost cried, and that's why I'm fired up.
The Backseat Ranch has been viewed more than 5 million times.
Just seeing people that are so inspired by this little 6-year-old and his passion is pretty neat.
And when Henry Marr gets mad, he gets busy. He's even written a book, his own little environmental manifesto.
Enjoy the planet. but don't wreck it.
He got some of his friends to sign the book, and soon, very soon, they will begin changing their world.
And tomorrow we're going to plan what is going to happen and what is going to be our plan. And we're going to go together at Little Mountain and take care of it.
It's a big job that Henry's tackling. Fortunately, he's already started.
Well, I'm still thinking about it, and I've been to Little Mountain. Guess what I've done?
What?
I've saved a slug.
That video now has more than 16 million views, according to the Facebook post. Reporting in the Newsplex, Dana Clemens, KRDO News Channel 13.
You know, on one hand, you feel sorry for the kid because you can't just be a kid anymore. You got to worry about grown-up issues and know world environmental justice. And at the same time, can you imagine what he's going to be capable of when he gets older?
If that's how he is now,
Problems he's gonna solve.
imagine what he will be like when he grows up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good
No
story.
doubt. Well, the most expensive handbag ever sold at auction fetched more than $300,000 in Hong Kong yesterday. The crocodile diamond-encrusted Hermes Birkin. Did I say that right? I don't even know. It's out of my league. It was sold at Christie's auction by a private Asian collector. It's thought that only one or two of the diamond Himalayas are made per year, according to Christie's. The sale comes after last year's record-breaking $222,000 sale of another dazzling handbag. Coming up, besides the consequences that opioids can cause, Colorado doctors have learned about another side effect.
Plus, we've all been there, cheating on our diets. Turns out it may actually help you lose weight. We'll explain up next. Reports of abuse, addiction, and overdoses involving prescription pain pills have made lots of headlines, but now scientists at the University of Colorado say there are other dangers in using narcotics. A 3-month-long study shows opioids cause an increase in chronic pain. They tested it on lab rats, but say similar problems can happen to people. The rats showed long-lasting chronic pain after using morphine treatments for 5 days. It shows that opioids intensified the release of pain signals from immune cells, which leads to prolonged pain. Again, that's in rats, but it could happen in humans also.
In today's Health Alert, we are breaking down the science behind cheat days. Does indulging once in a while help or hurt your diet? ABC's Maria Schivacampo is getting to the bottom of it.
Cheat days, an indulgent break from the drudgery of dieting, often shared on social media. For The Rock, mountains of fudge, peanut butter brownies, and cinnamon buns. Jennifer Aniston goes for Mexican food, and for the Kardashians, boxes of fried chicken.
What do you see people eating on their cheat days? I see them eating things from chips to cookies to popcorn, chocolate, cakes, huge sandwiches, pizzas, ice cream, you name it.
But can giving into cravings one day a week help your diet or hurt it? The science is hazy, but some say cheat days may help by upping production of the hormone leptin, decreasing appetite, and also helping the body burn more calories after overeating by increasing metabolism. They may also have a psychological benefit.
Does it kind of release a little bit of that pressure? You can feel motivated to stick to your diet plan, right? Because you know that you're gonna have a day where you get to eat a little bit of whatever you want.
But for a lot of people, these days may actually be counterproductive.
If you gave me a full day to eat whatever I wanted, I could ruin weeks of good work. Absolutely. I mean, you could take in upwards of 5,000 calories. That would be a disaster.
Experts say it can also be hard to get back on track, with a cheat day turning into a cheat week.
When I counsel my patients, I actually don't talk about using cheat days. I talk more about moderation, have one meal that is a little bit more decadent.
Mara Esquivel-Campo, ABC News, New York.
I tell you what, my cheat days have turned into cheat months, which have turned into basically just a cheat life. Let's be serious. Take a look at your Storm Tracker 13 Live HD Doppler radar. We are continuing to track a fairly strong storm just south of Silver Cliff. The National Weather Service, though, has expired the severe thunderstorm warning in that area. We are also tracking some significant weakening with the cell that is moving over Colorado Springs. Still getting quite a bit of rain for eastern parts of the city, but it's nowhere near as intense as it was just about a half an hour to 45 minutes ago. Farther toward the north, we still have a few strong storms that are sliding over the Palmer Divide. These are going to continue sliding off toward the south and east, so even though the rain is letting up around Colorado Springs right now, I don't expect it to stay that way. And of course, all of this rain is great for one thing, and that's greening things up here in southern Colorado. I want to remind you that we have our Spring Flowers contest going on. Submit your flower photos to KRDO.com, Facebook, or on our mobile app for an opportunity to win some pretty great prizes. Again, that's through June 16th.
All right, thanks. And thank you for choosing KRDO News Channel 13 at 4.
Sweet, we've got real answers. Weight loss win on
Closed.
Did they ask for a sound check yet?
Not yet. Okay, I can't. I'm about to go on the air, so I can't come over right now. What's that? Manitou Springs? That way. Test 1, 2, 3. Sound check. Audio check test. 1, 2, 3. Audio check test. See, I was thinking when I say, but a CDOT flood repair project.
Test, test, test.
Test, test, test.
From Southern Colorado's high-definition news leader, this is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
Tonight, new information from Colorado Springs police on suspected illegal marijuana grows, how many they've busted, and why you haven't heard much about it.
Plus, a terrible accident. People trapped in their vehicles. New information from this scene on Bijou.
And I am tracking the potential for heavy rain here in southern Colorado. I will show you how long these storms are expected to last with your Storm Tracker 13 forecast coming up next.
And as the storms move in, all eyes on the potential flood zones and the damage that still hasn't been fixed. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for KRDO News Channel 13 at 5 o'clock. I'm James Jarman.
And I'm Heather Skold.
Well, first up, let's get you started with a look outside. Flooding always a concern when those dark clouds gather over the Waldo Canyon burn scar. This is a live look right now from Manitou Springs. You can see the creek there filling up, but not like we've seen it in the past. Thank goodness for that.
And let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Plath, who is tracking our conditions this afternoon. And Rachel, I know you're keeping a close eye on the Waldo Canyon burn scar.
Absolutely. We had some pretty heavy rain that moved over the burn scar earlier this afternoon, produced about 1/4 of an inch of rain. But thankfully, we are not tracking any flooding as of right now. Highway 24 still open. Taking a look at Highway 24 east of Colorado Springs. This is Highway 24 and Peterson Road. A bit of a backup on eastbound lanes, but otherwise just looking wet in the area as rain continues to impact portions of Colorado Springs. Before I talk about that, I do want to talk about a storm that prompted the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning earlier for Silver Cliff and West Cliff. This is in Custer County. The storm has now weakened, so the warning was allowed to expire. Around Colorado Springs, the cell that we tracked moving over the Waldo Canyon burn scar has now weakened significantly. Light rain continuing to fall, though, over eastern parts of Colorado Springs, farther toward the north.